How's the heart?
Yeah. Last minute and a bit was interesting, wasn't it? So it had everything. Had big moments, had plenty of mistakes, but somehow we found a hang on. So I guess that's what finals footy is all about, isn't it? Is you never know when the moment's going to turn up, but you got to be ready for it. And we had a couple of really big efforts late to be able to help us get over the line.
If you were to sum up the difference between your side, say this year and last, is it that being able to survive those moments where the ship might go down, you just able to hang on and punch through?
Yeah, I think there's a defensive resilience to us now. And we've spoken about it all year. It had to be a characteristic that we had to build within the team. And we won on really defence at the end of the game. We didn't have momentum at all. It was completely against us. And we certainly weren't winning it through ball use. So we would like to have a few moments back going inside 50 and maybe change angles a couple more times rather than let them intercept and then just get fast off it. So we'll go to work on that. But in behind that was a desperate team with a will to win, and probably in the end one on a bit of heart, which I was probably pleased with.
A great start too. I mean, it was sort of a lot like last night, really, with you guys playing the Collingwood role.
Yeah, I thought we don't say that here, mate. All good. No, we played some really strong footy early, and not only did we have some of the things that we wanted in the game, but we're able to at least restrict Sydney and the ability to be able to put speed on the game. Now that flipped late in the game, so that's something we're going to have to go to work on. We'll just poor at times being able to defend that, but to their credit, I mean Sydney are a very resilient team. We're talking about runners up from last year. So they know their own moments. They've got some finals experience within that football team. So to be able to get the lead as we did and then be able to hold on the end, I thought was a really special effort.
Will Harry Mackay be available?
No, he'd get concussion protocols. So
he's entered
he
concussion
won't
protocols.
be right for next week. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you've got the exact details, but it almost looked like his head wasn't here at all. It's sort of almost like got the chest area and the sort of force went up. It seemed a bit like a unique one.
I haven't actually looked at it in detail yet, but he wasn't in a great way at the end of the game. So, concussion protocols, and that makes him unavailable for next week, and we'll have to look at what that forward line mix looks like.
If you look at the game, Michael, it seemed from watching it that Cripps wasn't a huge factor by his standards. Mackay obviously didn't score much, and Curnow was probably beaten, and yet Martin, Akers, Cottrell were exceptional.
Yeah. And again, I think in the past, as a footy club, we might have been accused of waiting for our stars to do the job to get us over the line. That hasn't been the characteristic of this football team this year. I understand that there's a lot of focus on players that haven't played finals football and how long it's actually been. But what we've done is, on the back of it, we've played these really significant roles, and the players have really embraced that. They've gone after it really hard, and they've built trust amongst each other within the team, and that's where our difference maker's been. So externally, the brilliance might get talked about. Internally, we value the roles that our players have played. Having Cunningham come in, Fogarty, Yowies, Cottrell, Akers being able to do his job. We're winning off everyone being able to take their turn, and that's been pretty special.
Just on Akers, you had some pretty big moments tonight.
Yeah.
How close was he to missing this game with that collarbone?
I thought off the back of the game 2 weeks ago, it was probably not much of a chance until the doc called me and said, no, he's going to be a good chance to get up. He went into the fitness test yesterday, and I sort of thought he'd come in quite sore, but he actually didn't at all. He was, he went in, did all his tackling he needed to do, and had no he wasn't limited in his movement whatsoever. So he actually passed it with flying colours. So he's come out of it. It seems to be okay.
Just from a personal point of view, Michael, what does it mean to coach the Carlton Footy Club in a final for the first time in a decade in front of a full MCG, as someone who's come from out of state, as an experience and as a leader of the club?
I've been taken by the energy. It's probably underestimated that energy as well. Yeah, there's been 10 years, and as I said, like playing in the finals, you're walking into this week, and it felt like a bit of a celebration. We'd made finals, and it was really important to acknowledge that, yeah, we've made that important milestone as a club, but we've still got more in us. And it wasn't based off anything other than there was capacity in this football team to do more, and we'd be settling for less to do otherwise. But we also have to acknowledge that it's been a fair journey for our supporters. It's been a long wait, and we're just, as I said before, we're just really pleased to look across the fences and see smile on the faces. I love seeing our past players and how proud they are of our team now and the way that we play. I love that we can connect in, and they're really proud of how tough we play football, and they walk away with a few other things tonight. We play in close ones, but we're able to get the job done again. We've been accused of not getting those jobs done in the future, but we've gone to work on ourselves, and we're sort of thriving in those moments. I don't know whether thrive is necessarily the right word I'd use today, but we certainly got through it.
To that end, looking ahead, how important is that win over Melbourne a few weeks back?
I think it'll help, but I think this one's more important because the energy, all that energy we feel, the players have felt that energy as well about being able to play, in some instances, their first final. And we have been limited in that experience. Well, we're not now because the environment's actually quite familiar to us. You know, we're 92,000 people here tonight. That's familiar to us. Maybe the finals isn't, but we'll be able to take some things out of that game and really learn a lot. Add a little bit of composure, a bit more composure in our game in critical moments, and we sort of get that in our favour a little bit more than what we did.
Do you have to have a chat to Maddie say not to be so unselfish when running into goal?
That was. I did say before the game, guys, let's embrace mistakes and errors, and so my first reaction wasn't that. But once I sort of sat with it for a little while, I sort of thought, oh well, there you go. You just can't sort of preach something and not follow through on it. But no, I'd like him to take his moment there, if you don't mind. 1 metre out, but yeah. Fortunately, the guys were able to just keep moving on because we were imperfect in the second half. I mean, we made so many errors, and there's lots of things we'd love to have back. And that's what I just think we won on heart. We won with defensive resilience. I think we won on heart.
Dare I ask what your reaction was to H's missing the goal square as well?
No, I don't go that far. So don't watch all my reactions all at once.
So the qualities you are strong at though, and were good at tonight, they're generally the sort of fundamentals that win finals, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think we're undersold in the transition part of the game as well. Our best that we've produced throughout this year, a lot we'll talk about, a contest game and how we set up our game. Well, every team sets up their game from contest. There isn't a team in the land that doesn't want effort and intensity around the ball. There isn't a team that doesn't want an outnumber where the ball's going. So clearly that's obviously a strength of ours. But what we've been able to add into our team is how do we defend it? We want to be better at maximising those opportunities, but I think the thing that we've really improved is when the opposition has the ball, we get to work, and we put that 18-man connected system in place, and it helped us tonight. Wasn't perfect, but it helped us tonight.
And the flow that comes with winning and confidence, I mean, it's just sort of grown exponentially through the second half of the season.
Yeah, and that we can't quantify. That's an intangible. But you can't grow confidence, you can't grow belief without being able to have a body of work. You need your body of work, you need important flags in the ground to reference back to, and we've used plenty of those.
Have you seen the Jack Martin incident with Nick?
No, I haven't actually. It happened actually right in front of me, so so I didn't actually see the incident outside of just what happened, so I thought he was a bit winded. Obviously, come back on pretty strong. Blakey played out the second half all right, so he obviously played it out pretty well.
How critical has Jack Martin become, even tonight, but throughout the whole second half of this season? Probably?
Yeah, and he just had some great moments at the end where he just stood up, and I guess externally we talk about moments in finals, but you only ever talk about those in retrospect. You never know it at the time, but he had a couple of those tonight. He had some real deeds that he needed to step up in, and the team needed to step up in, but he got them done for us. He's been a really important addition to us. Absolutely, that group of people that I've just spoken about before that have come in and done their jobs. He's come in and he's provided a third marking target. Really, he's tough and hard at the ball. Not many people talk about him like that, but he is, and he adds a little bit of leadership out there for us at the same time. So he's been an important addition.
Bearing in mind that you obviously have a lot more you want to achieve this September, how big, though, is it, firstly making the finals, but now ticking off a finals win? How much of a weight is that going to lift off this footy club?
Yeah, well, there's one thing to experience it, but there's another thing to be able to really thrive in it. And, we're able to do that. So to clearly get a win under different circumstances was really impressive. And you only got to see the reaction in the rooms. I mean, just everyone's just ecstatic with the result. And it's not really a time to debrief about what we did well and what we didn't do well. It's just, we've said it all along, let's just keep staying completely present to what's in front of us. We'll look at this in 2 days' time and put it to the side, and then we'll fixate on Melbourne. And we've played them recently, so got an idea how they'll structure up, and it'll be another big game that we'll be looking forward to, and I would say probably another 92,000 that'll be sitting in the stands.
How satisfying is it for you personally? I mean, the last time you won a final as a coach was 2009. Like, does tonight, do you celebrate it yourself individually, given everything you went through to get back to coaching?
It's been a journey. It's been a journey for all of us, but I don't individualise it. This thing's absolutely got nothing to do about me. It's got to do with our people, our club, and that's what I'm really proud of. This is a really important club moment. It's taken a lot of effort, a lot of decisions to be able to get back to this point in time. So right now we get to embrace that, and that's all where I'm really concerned about.
So you give yourself a moment to sort of acknowledge the almost symmetry of the situation with that game that's just been mentioned. You were coaching against Carlton that night, and
There you go. That shows you how much I've thought about it. So there you go. So no, as you can imagine, I've moved on from about 13 years ago. So I'm just sort of focusing on making sure that we get into Monday okay and healthy, and checking on my boys. Thanks, guys.